Okay, good day. This recording is the second part for the December 3 and December 4 na classes. I intended to cut na lang to record this video in succession of parts kay para dali lang mabalikan and dili kay taas kayo ang isa ka video nga i-upload. So again, this is part 2 of the class. You need to go muna sa part 1 in order to accomplish the session, the discussion, as well as the activity. Okay, that being said, I guess we can proceed with the part 2 for this discussion. So we discussed kanina about the if block na statement. Now, we will going to discuss now the else block. Okay. In Java, we have if and we have what we call as optional, which is what we call as else na block. Now, the else na block is the conjunction of an if statement block. This is defined after the if na block, meaning you cannot create or you cannot declare, you cannot have an else block without an if. So requirements if, then follow si else. Just like what we had since last week pa, pwede nga walay else ang if. Pero dili pwede nga walay if ang else. Okay? So, this will be the structure dayon of the code. Now, as we presented na, this is the if. So, naay codes prior dire, naay codes prior dito, okay? And we have also possible codes after the condition. So, this is what we call as the condition na set up for our if. Again, pwede nga walay else rather, maski walay else for as long as naay if. But else cannot be without if. So, now, as mentioned also, is conjunction and is placed after the if na block. So, for example, this is our if na block. Then, we can create another block here, which is what we call as else. Okay? Ayan. Nasa kaugalingon niya nga block of code, similar to if. Okay? And if you observe also, si else, unlike if, wala siya kaugalingon niya nga condition. Okay? That's because of the purpose of else. So, as you observe here, naapod na siya kaugalingon niya nga block, and its block can contain multiple statements of codes or functionality as well. Now, observe also that the if block open, mo close na siya, ay pagka mag-start sa else na block. Dili pwede nga ang if nimo sulod sa else unless naakay kaugalingon na pod niya if na pod sulod sa if, which we also discussed last meeting. Okay? Or should I say, we presented or I presented last week. So, if the block and we have the else the block. So, the rule nato kanina that I mentioned is, ma-execute ang statement ni if the block if the condition is true. However, if the condition is false, dili ni siya ma-execute. Now, the purpose of the else the block is, if ang condition sa if is false, i-execute niya ang statement sulod sa else na block. So in simple terms, dito, statement 1 can be executed, statement 1 and statement 2 will be executed if the condition of the if block is true, and if false, of course, di niya na i-print or di niya na siya i-execute, ang i-execute niya instead is ang naa sa else. Okay? So si else kibali ang musalo sa execution kung ang condition is false. Okay? Let's try for a sample muna. Okay? So yung sample problem nato ganina, basic man kaayo to, which is if the value of 5 is greater than 1. Okay? Let's try to have that similar problem. Mo quiz ninyo gaina. Okay? So, let's have a similar problem. For example, if, say, 5 is greater than 1, okay, so, pwede ta mo print. Okay, so for example, ang atong mo print ta og hello na lang siguro. Okay. Then, natay kaugalingon po niya din, na siya kaugalingon po na black. Observe, else, na siya kaugalingon po niya nga black po. Okay? So, we are just going to print here. Tapos, hello, then, hi na lang. Okay? Or, na. So, we have the if block, and we have now the else block. So, again, ang condition will verify or will validate kinsa ang iyang i-execute. Si if ba or si else. Kung ang statement is true, i-print ang if block. If the statement is false, i-print si else block. Okay? So, ay na ma-print si else kapag ang statement is false. If the statement is true, dili na siya i-print or i-execute. So, for this example, what do you think is the result of the program once we run it? So, our condition is 5 greater than 1. Is 5 greater than 1? So, the result of here is low. Since 5 is greater than 1, our statement here is, or the condition here is true. So, gi-execute niya si hello, while wala niya gi-execute si hi. And just like also similar sa gibuhat kanina, like naatay execution gihapon after. So, for example, let's use ln na lang para na siya tawag ani line after. Okay? Say end of program. Okay? So, I inserted this in order to give you an idea nga regardless pag human ani sa execution, whatever codes ang musunod, mo execute pag gihapon na siya. Okay? Kaya ang atong i-control raman is kanina asunod sa iyahang block. So meaning atong gina-control lang is si line 5 and si line 8 depende sa atong condition. So I'm just going to try to run again. Again, 5 is greater than 1, which is the statement becomes true. So if the statement is true, i-print niya si if or i-execute niya si if na block. Okay? Okay. Medyo tagalan lang, but the result is hello, then end of program. So meaning, i-print niya si hello, skip niya si hi, again, true man ang statement, then end of program. If we change the statement into this one, now is 5 less than to 1, just to run the program again. So technically, the program or the condition becomes false. So ang execute niya is not the if anymore, but the else nga statement. So yun. So our code here is, the result of our program is hi, then end of program. It's hi because ang giprint niya is else. Again, the else na block is only executed if the condition is false. Okay? So yung gisundan niya nga if. Okay? So I suppose or I hope that nasabtan na siya nga problem. So let's try another problem as well. So again, muna siya ang behavior sa ato ang else na block. So unsay pwede gamit ni else na block dayon? So we can say kanina mga sample is walay gina-display. So pwede ta nga for example yung problem kanina nga even. So kung dili siya even, matik nga add na dayon siya. So we can incorporate dayon ang else block nga kung dili siya add, matik even na dayon siya. So we can have that one nga ma-present gihapon nato atong results gihapon in that manner. So let's have a problem here. So write a program. Oops, nasubraan. Write a program to print even if the number is even and print add if otherwise. So this means simple. Kapag ang number is even, mo print siya word na even, and if not, mo print siya og word na add dayon. So let's try. So that will be public class add even. Then we are going to have the main method. So I guess nasabdan man siguro or you can still recall pa man kay bago pa man ito giniscuss katong modulus operator. So the modulus operator will return the remainder of the two numbers that are being divided. Okay? So gigamit nato to siya nga basis kay every time you divide a number by 2, even siya kung ang iyahang modulus is equal to 0 na dayon. Okay? So we're just going to do the same thing kanina. Okay? So, ngayon, so I guess we declare the variable as well. So for example, int num is equal to 0. Okay? Tapos, we also, I guess if we also tawag ani, declare the variable which is 0. So, wala problema na kung na space or wala space, similar na sila. Kaya na siya mo hatag o main nga tawag ani concern. Okay. So, let's incorporate siguro user input daan. So, let's say import Java detail at spanner. Hope you memorize already this one. Ibalik-balik naman eh. So, ang uban sa iyo, gamit og laing nga object name, which is wala problema. But the idea is still similar. Okay? Understand that. Okay. Semicolon. So, you have an object here. I have now the variables here. Tapos, we're going to have print lang siguro din taog. Please enter. Okay? Enter a number. Okay? Then, we have the num. Assign na to ang user input to the variable number. Okay? Num is equal to, we have here the object, which is the object scan dot next in. Similar kanina because integer man ang ato ang data type for the variable num. Okay? So once na-enter na ang value, then we can proceed dayon with computation or pwede po mo shorthand po ana. Okay, we'll just going to show you the shorthand data nila. So remainder is equal to num modulus 2. Okay? Again, any number divided by 2, kapag ang value or ang modulo ay ang result is 0, that is an even number. Okay? Meaning wala remainder. Okay? If remainder is equal to 0. Okay? And open. So buhaton nato kapag ang remainder is equal to 0. So we just going to print dayon, say the number is even. Okay? Now, ang problem nato dire is write a program to print even if the number is even and print the word add if otherwise. So diri na dito magamit ang else na dayon. So pag kani daw, pag even, print siya word na even, pag dili, print siya og add. So we can incorporate here na dayon ang part ni else. So else na siya kagalingon na block. Again, you check on the partners sa mga block ana basta na number na. So we're just going to have here print na lang dayon. So print, so the number is add. Okay. So if the statement is true, print or execute ang if block. If the condition is false, print the else block. As simple as that. So we try to run the program. Taud-taud lang, medyo hindi akong connection karon. So, ayun. So, I have task to enter a number. So, enter a number, I'm going to enter a number. Let's say, starting with 4, 54. Yeah. Technically, that's already an even number. Okay? So, the number is even. Okay? Let's try another input. So, let's say 51. Matik, that's an odd number. Then, the result is the number is odd. So this is how we execute programs na dayon in Java. Okay? So nakay if, then naakay else dayon. I told you kanina nga na ay shorthand ani. We can do shorthand here nga pwede ra nimo nga ma-skip ning isa ka variable. Okay? So instead, what we're going to do here is musulti na kadiri nga num %2 or modulus 2. Then kana siya is batato open and close parentheses lang para again precedence rule and para mas plastar. For me, my personal nga preference, mas ginabutangan ako siya, mas ikabalo ko nga, mas ginaon na-execute na siya compare adto. But again, just for me to tawag ani, to check and to see for visual nga support po na ako, nga mas masabtan ako ang code tayo. Okay? So, pwede na siya yung ani. So nahulog nga, gi-skip na ko to ang assignment sa remainder. So wala na remainder, automatically compute sa niya ni una. That is a statement. This is a valid statement in Java. If the result of this one is equal to 0 baka. Okay? So again, we'll try the code once again using this shorthand. So naka-skip ko or naka-save ko isa ka variable and isa ka tawag ani, isa ka line as well. Now, let's try 23. Pag enter, then the number is add. So basically, you need to understand lang the structure is you need to know the if, tama, si if, then si else lang tayo. So I'm going to enter 20. Now the result is, number is even as its result. So I hope kasabtan, I hope nakakita na to ang importance or ang gamit ni else and if. Okay? Let's try one last time. I guess na pa isa ka problem. Okay. So this will be the problem of pass or not. Okay? So write a program to print the word pass. If the grade input is greater, it should be greater than or equal to 75. Otherwise, we are going to print the word na fail. So simple, kung ato ning subton, so daw if the grade is greater than or equal to 75, if that is true, meaning print ta og word nga pass. Okay? If kani siya nga same statement, if that is false, so i-print niya is fail. Sorry. Okay? So, simple. Kaning pass, pwede po na sa if, pwede na siya dayon sa else. Actually, pwede na siya ibali-bali. So, pwede nga i-less than or less than. Or less than nimo to 75. So, pwede ra po din ikuha nimo. Depende sa structure na lang tayo. Pero muna ang mas obvious na answer and siguro technically mas dali gyapon na answer at some point. So muna siya ato ang pagsabot sa problem. Okay? If the grade is greater than or equal to 75, mo-print ta og pass, then else print ta og fail. Okay? So let's try to have it in the code. So let's say public class pass or not. Okay? Then proceed ta with main method. Okay, so since this is a user input, we'll proceed with the input. Okay, so import java.util.scanner. Okay, so once we have that already, we can proceed with the declaration or the instantiation of our object. So object scan is equal to new scanner. Then we have system.in. Okay, then maybe we can declare a variable here as our grade. So int grade is equal to 0, 0. If that is an integer, pwede po if it is a double or a floating point number, you can have it in the data type na double. So let's assume na lang grade na lang for sample purposes na ang grade is integer ang input. So we can easily proceed na dayon. So for this one, now what we're going to do now is we are going to compute or not to compute gali kay wala gali computation gihatag di ay, but rather we are going to have the result na dayon sa condition. So let's say if again kanina if the grade is greater than or equal to 75, open. Okay, so ang partner niya ito, kani ang partner niya is the main method and the last one is a partner niya is our class. Okay. So if the grade now is greater than or equal to 75, according sa problem, ang ato ang i-print dayon ana is the word na pass. Okay? Tapos, else, meaning, otherwise, atong i-print dayon is the word na fail. I'm using the shorthand writing, but I do not recommend the shorthand especially for beginner lang para mapaspas lang pod ni nga video and pag-input lang nako sa code. So if here, if the grade is greater than or equal to 75, print niya ang nasa if na block, else i-print niya ang nasa else na block. So let's try to run. Again, similar concept lang gihapon ni. Unfortunately, wala dito nabutang og user input. Sorry. Matic, since ang grade is equal to 0, 0 is not greater than 75. So I'll print niya automatic then is fail. Okay? Sorry, I forgot to include the ano. So, oops. I'm just going to have here the print enter grade value. Sorry, na-miss na ako. Na-overlook na ako. I was expecting na na-incorporate lang ako ganina. Murag sa uneven to na problem. Grade is equal to, we have the object scan dot next in. Again, integer because our data type ni grade is integer method. So, magkuha siya value coming from the user. Then, ayan niya i-validate. So, get to run the program. We'll be expecting mangayo siya of value from the user. Yun. Enter grade value. I'm going to enter grade value which is, let's say for example, 70. So it is less than to 75, so the result will be fail. Okay? So ganyan lang tayo ng execution din niya. We try to run the program once again. Then we proceed tayo with, let's say for example, 90. Hopefully galing yung mga grado. Then the result is pass. So what if the result or what if the grade that I will going to input is same similar sa ako ang condition which is 75. So wait lang. This one. So is 75 greater than or equal to 75? And the answer will be true. That is why the result is pass na dayon. Okay? So I hope that you understood how and where and technically when we include the else block. Again, as a quick nga tawag ani wrap up, the else block is declared after if or else if, later ato pa sa else if, basta dili siya pwede mag-exist without if. Okay? So, kung gusto ninyo og sinulat na tawag ani, sir, ang uban mo kung sinulat kay ing ani. Okay? You might be wondering kapag ganyan ang sinulatan sa kuan. Wala problema for as long as sakto ang partner, sakto ang iyahang tawag ani pairing. Okay? Sakto sulod sa block and dili mo na maglibog. Ang uban nga coding manggod kay ginaing ani nila. Okay? Medyo mutaas siya og line. So, ang if mo na iyang block open and close. Sa else mo na ang block niya close. You can do the same, or kung gusto ninyo nga, murag gusto ninyo multipid of space, you can do this one, okay? Kasabot naman po ang atong pag-compile, pag-interpret ana nga, murag yung anang inyong code, sorry, mabra ko na delete na ko ang kuan. Okay? Problema lang ani kay, gamay kay siya o breathing ground, para mas masabtan ninyo inyong codes dayon, especially kung daghan. Dili kay na ko ni gina-recommend. I know someone, a friend of mine nga murag nga siya ka program. With one ko, but kung mga one-liner lang depende sa iya output is ing ani yang result lang dayon. Still, wala problema. The run will execute as it is given nga kasabot man pud ang compiler kung unsa ang iyahang kasabot sa imong code. Okay? Again, the idea lang ana is the else block nga declaration. Okay? So, for the activity, aning part sa ato ang session, proceed to tinyurl.com/c/cc102/ch5-2. Okay? You answer the question nga naa dire, you provide the code aning mga problems. Okay? And yeah, after this, napatay another duha ka discussion pa on the else if, and another one is katong switch case. Okay? So, again, take this examination activity. You need to accomplish this before 12 noon today.